You have any more question you want to ask?
How do we deal with doubt?
Doubt.
Especially a person like you.
What kind of doubt? What kind
Doubt,
of
like
doubt support?
A person tell you something that
You're not sure whether it's right or not, or it's true or not, right?
oh yeah, if it's true or not, how would you deal with doubts?
The Buddha said when people tell you something, you should remain neutral. You don't have to believe, but you don't have to disbelieve either. Just listen to what they say. Then you have to prove it for yourself first, whether what they say is true or not. Like if someone say, you have won a lottery, so just don't get excited and think that you really won a lottery, because it could be a scam. So you just have to say, okay, I win the lottery, show me how, show me the rewards. You have to use your rationality, not your emotion. Sometimes when people tell you that you have won a lottery, you really believe them, and they say before you can cash the reward, you have to give them so much money in order for them to process the price for you. And if you believe them, then you give them the money to process the price. Then it turns out there is no price, and then you get scammed. So you must not fall for this kind of things. You have to be doubtful, but you're not until you can prove that it is true. You have to be skeptical. It's all right to be skeptical, but you should not dismiss what people tell you right away, because sometimes it is true. So you have to prove it for yourself. Have you read the Kalama Sutta? Just go search in the internet, Kalama Sutta. The Buddha said that do not believe 10 reasons for you not to believe. Believe because you think it's true. Believe it because someone tells you it's true. Believe because everybody is in a position to believe that it's true. Like there's the belief that there is a God, for instance. You have to prove first. Find a God before you believe. If you cannot find a God, then you don't know whether God exists or not. The Buddha said karma exists. He said you don't have to believe him, but you have to prove for yourself whether karma exists or not.
How do you have less attachment to other people, such as friends or loved ones?
You have to contemplate on their impermanent nature, because everybody sooner or later will separate from you, either alive or dead. Some people might have to move to another town, get another job, go someplace else. Some people might accidentally die or get sick and die. But eventually everybody will die. So you should try to contemplate on this impermanent nature of people and things. And then it will make you lessen your attachment to them.
So, what are some tips for a beginner in meditation?
Well, first of all, you should study the proper way to meditate. So you basically understand how to meditate, the purpose of meditation. Like driving a car, before you can learn to drive a car, you have to study the manual first. Study how to drive a car properly. Once you have studied, then the next step is to go and learn how to drive it. So you first have to understand the basic about meditation. The goal of meditation is to create another kind of happiness, a different kind of happiness that you've been accustomed to. Right now you are accustomed to the physical kind of happiness. You use your body to search happiness for you. By seeing things, by hearing things, by smell, by tasting, by feeling things, and it makes you happy. But this kind of happiness is temporal, it's temporary, because one day either you will not be able to do what you want to do, or you cannot get what you want to do, then you will not be happy. So you want to find an alternative way of making you happy. This alternative way is meditation. Meditation, if you can stop your mind from thinking aimlessly, from entirely stop thinking, then your mind become rested, become still. And when the mind becomes still, the mind have peace and happiness, which is much better than the happiness that you get from using your body. So this is basically the reason why you should meditate, to develop calm, so that you can have happiness that arises from calm. And the thing that will stop your mind from thinking and making your mind calm is called mindfulness. In Pali we call sati. Sati means you have to focus your mind on one object and don't let your mind go think about other things. You can use the mantra as your object of focus or concentration. Like if you keep reciting Bhutto, 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 then you cannot think about going out or watching television or having your favorite dish or drinks, because you'll be just concentrating, reciting the Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Or else you can, if you don't like reciting, you can watch your body movement. Every movement of your body, from the time you get up. When you open up your eyes, just look at what position your body is in, is lying down. And now you want to get up, so you watch it. Watch the body getting up. Watch the body walking to the bathroom, to wash, to get dressed, or do whatever the body is doing. Just keep watching the body, and don't let your mind go think about other things. This is being mindful. By being mindful, you are indirectly controlling your thoughts. You are preventing your thoughts from thinking about this and that. But you say, well, we have to think sometimes. You can also think. When you think, then you have to be mindful of your thoughts. Just think only the thing that you have to think. Like, what is today? What I have to do today? Where am I going? What engagement I have? Okay, you can think. So you know the direction of your day, what you have to do. Once you have thought of this thing, then you stop thinking while you prepare yourself to go to do whatever you have to do. And when you do whatever you have to do, just concentrate only on what you do. Don't think about other things. This is developing mindfulness. Because when you can concentrate on one thing, when you want to meditate, your mind will not run away. Because when you meditate, you want to focus on one thing in order to bring the mind to become still and calm. So when you sit, normally we use the breath as the object of concentration. You sit cross-legged if you can. If not, just sit on a chair. But sit with a straight back, because if you slouch, you tend to go to sleep easily. But you don't have to strain yourself sitting. Just sit comfortably, keep your back straight, then focus on your breath. Breathing in, know that you are breathing in. Breathing out, know that you are breathing out. All you have to do is just know the breath. You don't have to control the breath. You don't have to make it long or short. Just leave it alone. Your breath can be long or short, depends on your activity before you come to sit. Sometimes you have physical activity when you come to sit, it might be short. But after you sit for a while, the body becomes rested, then it can be, the breath could be long. But you just be aware of the breath. Don't control the breath. Don't manage the breath. Just keep watching. Use it as the object of your concentration. If you can keep concentrating only on your breath and don't go think about other things, your mind will eventually drop into calm and become still. Then you will find peace and happiness that you haven't found before. And once you have this, then you know that this is the best way of making yourself happy. Because you don't have to rely on your body, you don't have to rely on other people's body, you don't have to rely on other things to make you happy. You can always be happy wherever you are. Like people come up here and meditate, they don't have electricity, they don't have running water, they don't have television, they don't have anything, but they could be happy. So this is the thing you should know about meditation. And to succeed, you have to be patient, because developing mindfulness can be quite, it's not hard, but it takes time, because your mind is like a monkey. It keeps running away from your mindfulness. When you first start, you use a thread to tie the monkey, and your thread is very thin. As soon as the monkey starts moving, the thread will be broken. But if you continue to develop your mindfulness, the thread will become a string, will become a chain. Once it becomes a chain, then the monkey cannot break the chain. So you have to be patient when you first develop mindfulness. You might be able to concentrate only for a few seconds. Then suddenly you go back and think about this and that already. So you have to patiently bring your mind back, bring your thought back to your concentration. Keep doing this before you come and meditate. You first have to develop mindfulness first. The mind is like a monkey, so you have to find a leash that is strong enough to stop the monkey from moving around. Once you have this leash and you can stop the monkey from moving around, then you will succeed in your meditation. Then every time you sit, you can have calm and still the mind easily and quickly. Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, your mind will already be calm, peaceful and happy. But when you first start, you might sit for 30 minutes and you still don't feel any result. That's because your mind keeps running away from your mindfulness. So you have to keep bringing it back to your breath. So before you meditate, you should develop mindfulness first, because you can do it all the time. But to do it more efficiently would be when you are alone, when you don't have to do any work or engage with anybody. Because when you engage with people or when you have to do work, you have to use your thoughts. See? But if you can go to a meditation retreat and be alone, then you can have more, it will be easier for you to stop your thoughts. Because there's no reason for you to think anymore. See, that's why people sometimes they like to go to meditation retreat, because that will help them in develop mindfulness and help them to meditate more successfully.
Ajahn, have you been having problems with sleeping? Like you're meditating and then you fall asleep, you said posture? would be the best way to resolve that problem?
Well, that's part of the problem, but not all. You can be sleepy because after you eating a meal and you meditate, it will be natural for you to fall asleep. So to meditate successfully, the Buddha recommends keeping the 8 precepts. You should not eat it after midday, and then after midday you would have the time to meditate until you go to sleep. If you eat in the evening, then you keep worrying about eating, waiting to eat, so your mind won't be able to focus on your meditation object. So to meditate successfully, you have to keep the 8 precepts, because the 8 precepts will also stop you from engaging in other activities that will disrupt your meditation. You know the 8 precepts? Okay. You know the 5 precepts? Okay. In the 5 precepts, the 3rd precept means it abstain from having sexual misconduct, means sexual activity outside of marriage. But with the 8th preceptor, you change this one to no sex at all. You should live alone, sleep alone. Then you can have the time to meditate. See? Instead of sleeping and have your sexual activity, then when you don't have this sexual activity, then you will have the time to sit and meditate. So this is one of the activities you have to abstain from. And the 6th precept is to stop from eating after midday. The 7th precept is to stop you from watching television, watching movies, listening to music, entertainment, or going out to places for enjoyment, to going to parties, to wedding parties, to whatever, socializing. So you should abstain from this activity, and also abstain from fixing your body up, getting dressed. You're just wasting your time, because when you meditate you don't need to have this thing. You only get dressed and beautify your body because you want to go outside. So if you're not going outside, so you don't need to do this. All you have to do is just wash your body, keep it clean, that's all. No need to put perfume or put makeup, cosmetics, anything, or put beautiful clothes on. Because it will take away your time to meditate. And the last one is to abstain from sleeping too much. You should sleep for the body, not sleep for your enjoyment. Normally the body will need about 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. But if you want to sleep longer, but if you sleep on a comfortable bed, you will sleep longer. After your body have rested and you're awake, but you don't feel like getting up because the bed is so comfortable. So you sleep for another 3 or 4 hours. So in order to prevent you from sleeping too much, you should sleep on a hard floor. Maybe with a piece of cloth, a piece of mat, a piece of straw mat. Then you will not sleep too long. As soon as the body have rested and it becomes awake, then you don't want to sleep because it's not comfortable. So you would get up and sit and meditate instead. So this is what you should keep if you want to meditate more efficiently, more successfully. Because this is the way of eliminating the distracted engagement activity. Then you would have the time to develop mindfulness and sit and meditate. You can listen to Dhamma talks, you can read Dhamma books. When you feel like you want to stop meditating or developing mindfulness, then you read a book, read Dhamma book, or listen to Dhamma talk. Then after that, then you can meditate. Does that answer your question? Okay. And if you still feel sleepy, then you might have to find a different location. You might have to go to a place where it makes you scary, where it's like going to a cemetery. If you go meditate in a cemetery, you won't fall asleep, especially at night. You feel awake. That's what monks do. Monks who have problem with drowsiness, sleepiness, they usually go to a cemetery. Sometimes they go sit at the edge of a cliff, because if you feel sleepy, you fall down off the cliff. So once you sit at the edge of the cliff, you won't become sleepy. Or you have to go sit where there are sounds of tiger roaring or wild animals around you. Then you will not feel sleepy. That's why forest monks go to meditate in the forest to help solve these problems. Because if you meditate at home or meditate in a monastery where it's safe, you don't feel there is anything to stir up your mindfulness, your wakefulness. So you tend to be drowsy and go to sleep easily. That's one of the hindrances. There are 5 hindrances that will prevent you from meditating successfully. Drowsiness, or they call sloth and torpor. This is one. The second one is restlessness. Sometimes you cannot control your thoughts, so you keep thinking about this, thinking about that, and you start to be agitated, you become restless, you become worrying, and so forth. And you cannot concentrate on your meditation object. This is the third one is anger. Sometimes people make you angry, and when you meditate, you keep thinking about that person, and still keep you angry. So you should use metta. I mean, you have to radiate loving kindness. You should forgive people who make you mad, make you angry. If you can forgive, then you will not be angry. In Buddhism, we call having loving kindness toward other human beings. If you have love toward other people, then you won't get angry at them. If you love someone, then you will not get angry at them. And the fourth one is doubt. Doubt in the Buddha, doubt in the teaching of the Buddha, doubt in the noble disciple of the Buddha, whether they really existed or not, or whether this is just something somebody just make up. That there's no truth in these things. There's no truth in his teaching. Whatever you do, you will not get the result from what they teach you. If you have this doubt, then you don't want to meditate. What's the fifth one? Doubt, restlessness, sleepiness, angry. The fifth one is sensual desire. Your desire to go and find happiness by going out, using your eyes, ears, and nose, tongue, and body to see, to hear things. Like your desire to go watch a movie, to listen to music, to go out to entertainment venue. You have to restrain this desire. If you have this desire and you cannot restrain it, then you will not be able to meditate. That's why you have to keep the 8 precepts to restrain this desire for sensual gratification. Doubt, if you have doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, you have to study the Dhamma, study the biography of the Buddha, his noble disciple. Then you can eliminate your doubt. If you are restless, agitated, you have to try to develop mindfulness. Force your mind to focus on one object, like a mantra. Just recite Bhutto, Bhutto, or recite the sutta. You can study the sutta and memorize it, and then you feel restless or agitated, just keep reciting the sutta, and then your mind can become rested. Any more questions?
And those the 5 jhanic factors that you mentioned right now?
The 5 hindrances.
What you mentioned now, the 5 factors, and they the jhanic factors required for the Dhamma, the Vyapada, Dhinamita, or the 5 factors that you mentioned right now.
Yes.
Are those factors that have to be subdued?
Yeah, you have to, right, or else your mind will not be calm. See? If you have doubt, then you don't want to meditate. Right? If you're restless, your mind cannot be calm. If you want to watch television or listen to music or going outside, then you will not be able to meditate.
You also mentioned about the theoretical understanding prior to the practice. And didn't Buddha also emphasize this when he preached the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutra, that he repeated the Four Noble Truths 3 times. But on all 3 occasions, there was only the difference in the words pariyatti, patipatti and pativedhi.
We have to study first. Pariyatti is to study the why and what about what you have to do. Once you know why you have to do and what you get from doing it, then you go practice. Then when you practice, then you get the result from your practice. So this is the 3 steps toward realizing the result of your practice. You have to study, because if you don't study, then you don't know how to practice properly, correctly. You have to, like playing golf, you have to first study how to play golf. Once you know how to play golf, then the next thing is to go play golf, and then see whether you play correctly or not. If you don't, then you have to correct yourself, improve yourself, until eventually you can become successful and win a tournament.
And hasn't those two have to go hand in hand, the theoretical knowledge, gathering of the theoretical knowledge and the practice, go sort of hand in hand?
Well, you have to know when you practice whether you're doing it correctly or not. If you do it and you don't get any result, then maybe you're not doing correctly. So you might have to consult your teacher or your book and find out what's wrong with your practice. Which part is wrong, which part is correct, and try to correct the incorrect part.
In the Desana series, those talks that I included in it, how all those talks were to the monks by Ajahn Mahaprabhu, or was it given to lay people also in the Desana?
Those for the monks only. When he taught the monk, he would concentrate on the sila and samadhi and panya. With lay people, he will concentrate on developing sattha or faith and dana, and maybe the 5 precepts. So different, because lay people and monks practice on a different level. Except for some special lay people who are interested in meditation, then they would appreciate the teaching to the monk more than to the lay people. But for lay people who doesn't practice, they won't be able to understand the teaching to the monks. So this is your last day, huh? Tomorrow one more day. Okay, well, we'll share the time for other people. Enough for today, okay?